So it's safe to say that now Mercedes and Autumn are Judy's. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
The thing is, the cops saw it, so they didn't pull it.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. This is my review for P-Valley Season 1, Episode 6, Legacy. Now, see, this is like my third or fourth time sitting down to record this review. I have been interrupted every time I sit down. Either a phone call, Tim running through the room. And by Tim, I mean the big one, not the little one. This is going to be my last time doing it, okay? So I'm going to probably rush through it. I'm sorry if I do, but I really try. I got to get it up and out so that I can edit it and put it up, okay? Anyway, we start off with Mercedes and Autumn. They are running partners. We see them changing wig after wig after wig, outfit after outfit. So Maine, really hooked them up with those different aliases. He gave them 10 different fake IDs. So we see them rolling and hanging tight with one another. Next thing we see is Terica. She is getting a tennis lesson, and Mercedes shows up to her lesson. She's talking to her from behind the fence. I'm sorry I couldn't get you this weekend because she was supposed to have her over the weekend. So, Terica is disappointed and, a little bit perturbed about that. So she giving her mama a little bit much. She's being very much with her mama. But I mean, what can you do? You kind of flaked on her. You let her down. You disappointed her. So it's to be expected. While they're talking, Shell, the adoptive mother, she walks over, because she notices that Terica ain't where she's supposed to be. And she sends her back, to her lesson. And she's like, what you doing here? And she's like, she wasn't answering my text. So you pop up at her tennis lesson? Yes. So now they have words going back and forth with what's best for Terica. Of course, Mercedes, listen, I want my child back. That's my blood. Like, she belongs with me. And the mama is just like, prove it, prove it. You on the tube fighting down the Kroger with your mama, and you think that you deserve to get her back? You're on TV fighting like a lowlife. Like, no, you cannot. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you gotta make better decisions. Like, you can't continue to make those types of decisions and think you're gonna get your child back. And Mercedes is like, Cortez probably rolling in his grave. Cortez ain't rolling over in nothing because his ass is burnt to a crisp. I burned his cheating ass and put him in an urn over the fireplace. So he ain't rolling over in nothing. So don't be bringing up talking about what her daddy would do. I'm alive. I'm here. I'm the one caring for her. And it's about time. And you need to be proving yourself worthy to a judge. But most importantly, you got to prove it to me. And you ain't proved nothing to me. Mercedes like, my Uber here. Because Autumn was waiting in the car for her. She go and get back in the car. And of course, Autumn is looking at her like, what's all that about? So you teaching dance over here at the tennis? You teaching tennis now? What's this? Mercedes don't say nothing. She immediately changes the subject when she notices a gun in the glove box, and she's just like, "What's this about? What we got this for?" My Autumn is like, "Well, of course, we toting around all this money. We got to have us a little piece too. Got to be protected. So that's what it's for." Let me make sure, because when I be rolling like this, I need a page turner. I need TJ sleep, but he need to be right here turning my pages for me. Okay, Mercedes is gonna ask Maine for some more IDs for them. You gonna be Thelma, I'll be Louise. She gonna get Maine to make some more fake IDs so that they can keep this money train going. Then we see Mississippi. She meets up with Lil Murder. And when Lil Murder shows, sits down, he's like, look, I don't know what you think you saw, but if you think you blackmailing me today, it's not happening. And, she's just like, what I saw? Like, I see. Pamela James ain't seen jack. I ain't seen nothing. See, we here to talk about you and I, a collaboration. I'll be your beard, and, you be my man in the public eye, on the gram, so that the followers and the likes, all of that goes up for both of us. Because that's all she care about is her followers. He tells her about his manager. Oh, because at first he want to know, is it going to be okay? Like, I see the bruise on your face, on your wrist. You going to be good? Is your boyfriend going to be good with this? And she's just like, he ain't going to have no other choice but to be good with this. So let's start by taking selfies. So they just going to take a bunch of hugged up, booed up selfies with one another. Because like she said, the bitches got to want you and the niggas got to, want to hate you. Wise words from Keyshawn. Actually, wise words from Uncle Clifford, because she said that's where she got that from. Because he said he was going to put, I'm going to put that in one of my raps. I like that. And she said, well, when you credit somebody, credit Uncle Clifford, because that's where it came from. She tells him he got to step up his social media because he ain't got but 5 posts, 100 followers. Like, you got to step it up, and this is going to do it. Us collaborating and, coming together, that's going to do it. Then we see Loretta Devine. She in her living room, zoned out, zenned out, as I should say, smoking her blunt, listening to her vinyls, and Clifford is in his room worried about this foreclosure. He still got the foreclosure, just looking at it over and over and over again, trying to brainstorm, I guess, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? He gets a text from LaMarcus, and it said, he's telling him, I done took care of Mississippi. She's good. We did that. That's good. And Clifford texts back, oh, Lord, you killed her? Did you kill her? And he like, nigga, no. Like, but don't worry about it. She good. She ain't gonna say nothing. Listen. And he hashtag incentive. So Mississippi is good. He don't know the details, but he handled it. And he gonna lay back on his bed, curled up like a little schoolgirl. I said, look at Clifford. All smitten. He is just so smitten. Okay, nose wide open. But he goes out there with Loretta. And Loretta dancing. And we find out that she's his grandmother. And she's blind. She's the one who passed down the Pynk to him. But before, it was a juke joint called Ernestine's. And she passed it on to him because he told her, that essentially if they turn it into a titty bar, it'll bring, more revenue. And so they did that, and she let him, take over. But he took over the club as well as all her debt. So she the reason the club about to be, well, not solely her fault, but because both of them, had a hand in it. And she notices, she can hear him getting these messages. What's his name? He's like, what? Mind your business. Mind your business. Don't be worried about what his name is, because she keep telling him, you might want to go on and invite him over here. Tell him to come on over here for dinner. I want to meet him. I want to meet this man that's got your nose wide open. Baby, pass your grandma the blunt. I want to pass me my blunt, please. Because she want to get back to what she doing, and they dance a little bit, whatever. And it's sweet. It's sweet. I like Loretta. Hopefully we're going to see Loretta the next week, the week after that, because she's one of my favorites. Because she took out all them, she took out the loans, and now the past due, he got all the notices, this notice and that notice and this notice and that notice. You worried about who texting my phone. Worry about these bills that we have. Because we going to lose the Pynk. We going to lose it. And she's like, you're right. You're right. I signed some things I shouldn't have, but so did you. So did you. It ain't just me. And he gonna say, I think it's time you got down on your knees and asked your God for a favor. And what she says after that is completely blasphemous, so I'm not saying it, not repeating that. But basically, she's like, listen, God don't want to hear from me. He ain't trying to hear what I got to say. Then we see these girls cooking and cutting some drugs. And one of them puts a pill in her mouth and goes and gives it to the dude that's in the room. And we come to find out that's the same guy that was with Gidget. So that's her regular, the drug dealer, the man that got the oxys. Then he get a knock at the door, and it's Big L. Big L want to partner up. Big L like, listen, we got to save the Pynk. I want to hide all your drugs over here at the Pynk for a fee, but he willing to do that so that he can, have something to put on the table. Because if the Pynk shut down, he really don't have nothing else to do. He will get back in trouble. He will go back to jail. He feels like his options are, slim to none. So right now he got to figure out what he can do to get the money, for the Pynk. And that's going to help because the dude is like, all right, whatever. This is all unbeknownst to Clifford, by the way. Clifford don't know none of this. But Big L think he gonna help. The guy is willing to, pay. He said, I'm gonna pay you $5,000 for the first hold. So we got $5,000 coming. Then we see Clifford getting his nails done. He waiting on Eloise, the mayor's assistant. She comes in, bum rushed her appointment. Basically tells her, listen, I can't believe that you are acting like you was not one of us. Like you really gonna let your family over there at the Pynk go under? Really? Like now you done got your little job over there in the mayor's office. And you supposed to be, when you turn to the house mother, when you go from, house whore to house mother, you at least gotta keep your ears open. And he's just like, you can't let this go down. Like, I don't know what you know, but you got to bring me some tea. You got to. Because, listen, you was the first hoe I graduated. So make sure that you're not the last. And he leaves her with that to think about. Autumn and Mercedes, they're at a diner. Autumn is, counting the money under the table, and she hands it to Mercedes. That's her cut. They talking about their next moves. They got to split up this time. Autumn want Mercedes to go to whatever the name of the place is. Let's just say she going to Biloxi. She want her to go to another county or somewhere else to do it. And they splitting up. And she like, damn, all the way over there. I hope you put some gas money in here too. While they're talking, Andre walks in. And she looked like she done seen a ghost. And they both staring at each other. And she's like, what's this? Like, so y'all don't talk no more? And Autumn is like, no, I ain't talked to him about a week. He leaves. He gets his little to-go and leaves. And when Autumn, she asked for the check. The waitress is like, that nice gentleman went on ahead and took care of y'all food. And Mercedes is like, damn. Is it like that, light skin? Teach me your ways. Teach me how you just finesse the men, out of a meal and you ain't did nothing. Teach me, light skin. Because Mercedes always equates the things that Autumn gets, or the money she gets, the attention, she equates it all to her complexion. And Autumn say she want to hide the money in the locker. So because she asked, she's like, since you're not gonna be at the Pynk, can I get that combination so that I can hide the money in there? And she's like, are you stupid? Not as stupid as hiding money in the church building fund. And by the way, next time, don't do that. You need to get you an offshore account or a Bitcoin. Like you need a CD. Like you need to figure out another way to save your money, in a place that's not accessible to your mama or to anybody at that, for that matter. So she give her a little financial advice. Then we see Andre And he meeting up with the Kyle brothers. And it's triggering. This whole scene was so triggering. It was, I didn't know if they was going to kill Andre, string him up by a tree or what. But I was nervous for him and Corbin. They in there with just the fireplace. You know when just the fireplace on and you in there conducting business. Got the brown liquor. I was nervous. I was nervous for him being being up in there with all them white boys. But they're there because they're supposed to all be, signing the document. And Corbin is still like, I want to lease this. I ain't trying to do this. And they're like, why? Cause you're trying to leave something for your kinfolk. Yeah, bitch. Yes. Because unlike you, like I have an opportunity to do that, and so that's what I'm gonna do. It ain't just people just don't come into millions willy-nilly, just like that, especially people like us. So yes, it's for my legacy. Do you have a problem with that? And they do. Don't be trying to leave no legacy. We trying to sell this and get all the money for ourselves, because they got more money to toss around than anybody. So of course that's what they want. One of the brothers pulls a gun on Andre and Corbin, and they both, got their hands up like, whoa, I didn't think we needed to do all of this. He cocked the gun and everything. Listen, I'm gonna kill you. Sign the paper or else. And Corbin is just like, whatever. Because put your gun down. You doing a lot. You ain't even got to be pulling no gun on me. Clifford has LaMarcus over for dinner. And, he in there laughing it up, kikiing with the grandma. She giving them a whole history lesson on Pussy Valley and, how essentially, the powers that be have ran those deemed, throwaways, your strippers, your prostitutes, the drug addicts, the drug dealers, all the people, that had establishments or whatever, they, pushed them to the outskirts. And like she said, pushed them to the ends of the earth down there by the river, so that they would either be burned or flooded. The Pynk has, withstand, the test of time. And now it don't look like they're going to be able to keep the place. But it seems like Mama likes LaMarcus, and LaMarcus seemed like he having a great time. Clifford just sitting back, of course, still swooning and still smitten over his man, just having having a good old time with his nana. Because they rolling blunts and they smoking blunts and they just having a good old time. I feel like I'm gonna be that grandma. I feel like I'm gonna be that grandma smoking blunts with my grandkids. Maybe not with my kids, but with my grandkids I might. But anyway, before he leaves, because while he's there, LaMarcus gets a text message from the DJ. And the DJ is like, listen, I'm over here at the studio. Are you gonna come or what? We got to get started. And he said, yeah, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna slide. He texts back that he gonna slide in a minute. And Clifford is like, do you have to leave or what's going on? He wasn't sure. LaMarcus is like, I'm here. You got me. I'm good. I ain't going nowhere. He go over there to grandma, get down, sit next to her and tell her, listen, I got something before you go. Let me smell this. Smell this before you go. Smell that. And she like, ooh, get the D. She excited about this weed she about to smoke. And so yeah, they one big happy family. Back at the Pynk, while Keyshawn all proud of herself, she proud of her social media. And, she done posted them pictures of she and LaMarcus, and the rest of the girls are kind of nervous. They're like, girl, is your man gonna find out about this? Like, what are you doing? You're just like, that's not smart. She say, listen, I got this. I know what I'm doing. Meanwhile, Autumn is walking in, and she, of course, beelines to Mercedes' locker. And Keyshawn notices and goes over there, and she's like, I don't know what you think Mercedes would think about you going in her locker, about taking her locker. And she's gonna say, well, the same thing she would think about you taking her place. She gonna say, well, listen, the difference between Mercedes and I is I ain't stingy, okay? And she opened the locker and shows her that she got a gun up there, because she notices her bruises as well. And she shows her the gun and tells her the combination 22, 45, 6. It's up there if you need it. And she closed it and gone on by her business. Mississippi's up there doing her set. And while she's up there, she's so one track mind. Like, she's up there and all she can see is emojis, happy face emojis, and likes and likes and likes going up. That's all she sees when she looks out into the crowd. That girl is gone. When she's done, she talks to Clifford about, what she's planning on with murder. They gonna call it murder night on Sunday. She done already made the plans. At first, Clifford tries to give her a little pushback, but she's standing firm on that. Listen, this is what it is. It's what we doing. I'm about to go get on Instagram and send the invite out right now. I just wanted to let you know. When she leaves and the crowd, everybody is just, swarming her. Clifford looking at her all proud like, that little old girl. I love that little old girl. That's a Harlem Nights reference for those of y'all who are fans of movies. Then we see Maine at who house they at? Mercedes' house. He coming through with the fake IDs or whatever. So now they got that. Autumn, she's like, she noticing like, oh, I see you in Maine. I see you, girl. She's like, nah, listen, he's something to look at, and that's about it. That is about it. Okay, I ain't finna be screwing in my backyard because he literally live right across the street. No. I know this girl who he's her fiance now, I think. Cause I don't really like to call people, I don't really like to do that whole baby daddy, baby mama thing. Like, her child's father lives right next door to her. That's how they met. He's her next door neighbor, and he still live right next door. I thought that was the sweetest little love story ever. Like, I've never lived anywhere where there was somebody across the street that could have been a potential mate. Like, that's never happened to me. So, God smiled on her. But anyway, Autumn says she got to use the bathroom, and when she goes to the bathroom, she ends up in Terica's room. And so now they go in there. Now we got to sit and talk about that, and they bond over that. The fact that Mercedes has a daughter that she's trying to get back. Autumn is a mother as well, but she's under the impression that her daughter is dead. I don't think she knows for sure, because I feel like this man gonna come back, gonna pop up, and gonna be like, I got your daughter, so you either come back with me or it's over with. I feel like that's what's gonna happen to her. But either way it goes, they have a bonding moment. We find out Autumn's daughter's name is Autumn, and I kind of figured that. So her real name is Haley. She ain't tell Mercedes that, but her real name is Haley. Then we see Andre. He called Promised Land Equities and tells Bill, about the situation with the Cow brothers. And at first I thought, I'm like, well, didn't Corbin sign? Obviously he didn't, because he run it back to Bill like they're gonna lease. Corbin and Wyatt had a disagreement. They didn't really agree on it, but they've agreed to lease. So he lying. Doing some underhanded stuff, looking out for Corbin, and I'm here for it. Cause you better be looking out for your own. F them Kyle brothers, okay? Excluding Corbin, cause Corbin trying to do something good. But he tells him about that, and at first Bill's like, well, we're gonna have to pull out. We're gonna have to leave Chuckalisa, and he convinces him to stay, and convinces him to give him, a little bit more time to work out the kinks of everything, but he ain't out of a job just yet. Mississippi, she gets on Instagram, of course. She at the studio with Lil Murder. And the dudes in the studio, they start talking to Lil Murder like, where you been? Like, we've been trying to do this, we've been trying to do that. You say you want to be big time, but you ain't even worked on no second single. Like, we done ran over love in the dirt. It's time for another one. And you ain't willing to work because you been missing. So where you been? And Keyshawn know where he been. But she gonna get up, because she's a beard. She gotta play her role. She get up, go sit in this lap. They kissing and carrying on. So lay it on thick, y'all. Andre, we see him FaceTiming his wife. And, he tells her about the deal and tells her the change that he made last minute. And she ain't in support of that. She like, you just gonna bite the hand that feeds you? That's not smart. So her lack of support got her hung up on. Because he just clicked after that. All right, well, I don't want to talk to you. Bye. Have a good night. She's trying to, she's trying to rush it like, well, I think that you should have just did what you were supposed to do so that you can get home. And he's like, this is my home, girl. No, your home is in Atlanta. No, this my home. He's trying to make sure, things are on the up and up here before he leaves, which is understandable. Your hometown. Come on, lady. She's just being selfish. She don't care nothing about what's going on in Chuckalisa. She's just like, listen, get the commission so you can come up out of there, and it's a 5% commission at that. Cause it's on the line, by the way. The man say, listen, that's out. if we don't come out of this deal, making bank. Kiss your commission goodbye. Back at the Pynk, Eloise is visiting. All the girls are happy to see her. Clifford comes in and, she want to talk to him because now she got tea. She come and they sit down and they, have a drink. She pull out receipts. Basically tells him, that they got this, that, and the third going on. The casino. They got a subdivision going up called Casey's Plantation. Like a pavilion, something like that. And they got all this stuff going and they finna just be tearing everything down, including the Pynk. And she tells him, it's legal that they can do this, but you can file a petition and get everybody to sign it. We can get it on to the city council. So that's the plan. They're gonna get a petition. And first he's like, he don't know what to do. Like how he's supposed to do that. Who gonna sign it? But listen, somebody gonna sign to get everybody that come up in the club to sign it. Honestly, because it be packed, so they'll be all right. Hopefully. Then we see Autumn. She calls Andre. After seeing him, how it is. Hey, stranger. Hey, big head. She sees after seeing him. Now she got to call him, and she's at the mounds talking about how beautiful Chuckalisa really is. He's like, "Oh, you at the mounds? Okay." But she quickly gets off the phone and was like, I just called to tell you, you're right. You're right where you need to be. And I'm sure that's all he needed to hear. He about to file he about to file for a divorce. Okay. The next day, gonna be sending his wife divorce papers like that man did on Harlem Nights. Yeah. Barbara, I ain't coming home no more. I ain't coming home no more. Okay. You got it? All right. Bye. Anyway. Then we see Maine. He's getting his ankle bracelet back from this little kid that he has, babysit the ankle bracelet for him. He's getting it back from him. And before he leaves, he notices this missing persons sign on this bulletin board, and the missing person is Autumn. And it say Haley, what's her name? Haley Colton, missing. Age 26, and I'm like, y'all are 26 lie. That lady don't look no 26, but okay. Anyway, age 26, 5'5" with brown eyes. She missing. Man, like, I would have snatched it down. Like, girl, you missing? Do I need to call some help for you? What's going on? That man is hot on her heels. That's what's going on. Anyway, that's where it ends out at. This show is great. It's great. It's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'll be back next week. Y'all be back next week. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.